What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about 2025 yet again. However, we're going to do actually a couple of videos on 2025, but I thought we're doing a lot of what's going on, right? My series where I look at, individual games, and it got me thinking, what's a reason why 2025 is going to be such a big year, for us gamers? Well, of course, it's the games coming out, and that is the most important. It's why, I'm going to make a video probably within the next week or so, ranking all of the games I'm most anticipating for 2025. It is a stacked year. It has so much potential, and yeah, there could be some delays. I almost don't want to say it, just in case it happens, but it has the potential for so many games of all different genres, all different ilk, Xbox exclusives, PlayStation, all across the freaking board, GTA, Mafia, etc., right? So many games. And, a good amount of those are guaranteed. Not all of them, again, because of potential for delay. But what's another reason why it could be big? Well, that's what the What's Going On series has got me thinking about, where, and maybe it's just me, I also get excited for news. And I think actually quite a few people do as well. When I think about 2025, right, you think about the GTAs and Mafia and Borderlands and all this. I'm trying not to do just Take-Two things, but, you think about a lot of these games and you think, okay, well, what are some of like these fringe things, right? Well, you can look to like a Perfect Dark for Xbox or like a Gears E-Day, right, which are probably 2026 plus games, right? So you do have to kind of think in advance. You have to think, all right, PlayStation, I think, is even more wide open just because you don't really know, right? You got like Bend, you got Blue Point, you got Intergalactic from Naughty Dog, you got probably a couple hidden things as well we don't know about. You got a lot of things, I imagine, for 2026. 2025, I think, will be a better year for PlayStation, but 2026 and even onwards might be bigger. I think to Persona, right? Persona 6 is something I've talked about quite a bit here. I think to Kingdom Hearts 4, I think to Tomb Raider, I think to BioShock. Some of these games I've made videos on over the last couple of weeks talking about, what's going on with them. Crysis 4, Metal Gear Solid 3 is releasing, but you can just keep going down the list. And I guess what gets me pumped is that some of these games have got to get news in 2025. Now, and maybe that's reaching too far. Again, maybe that's thinking too far. But, when it comes to like any given year, there's always like a blend of excitement or things that make me excited about any given year. And that could just be me. But, on a day-to-day, you like wake up and you check, for what is IGN saying? What are these places saying? For news, for rumors, for leaks. And I mean, like factually, they're always for things that are, in the future, right? And I'm sure you're going to get, you'll have lead ups to all of these big games in 2025, right? But when you think to like Wonder Woman, you think, okay, there's no way that comes out in 25, just like Persona 6. The odds are very, very low, right? Kingdom Hearts 4. Okay, but what are the odds of them showing it in 2025? What are the odds of them talking about it in 2025? And that gets me excited too, because you almost get to, depending on where you put your expectations and how stressed you kind of make yourself, think about all these things, you can really double your excitement because you're getting, week to week, month to month, you're getting these great games, hopefully great games that are releasing, and, we're talking about them, we're making theories and stuff leading into them. But then also, it's not just about the games that are releasing in the current time, it's about the future. And I'm not saying 2028, 2029, focusing on the PS6 and next Xbox console and stuff like that. Although those are things too, right? Like eventually those things are talked about. Eventually you enter a year where you start to hear about the next PlayStation console, where and I mean, I'm just kind of taking that and saying, okay, well, what's an extension of that? Well, what's the future of Nintendo in 2026 and beyond? What's the future? Like, can we get Cory Barlog's game? Can we see it? Can we hear about it? Can we get this Kingdom Hearts 4 thing? These games that are a little too far out for next year, but like in terms of releasing, but in terms of info, in terms of showing up at Summer Game Fest or the Game Awards, in terms of just having an interview with some people, right? Or just a state of play that finally announces a couple of things for PlayStation for once in their freaking life. These are things that are very possible for 2025. So I don't know, a quick video, I guess, overall, but something that I just started to think about where, again, day to day, it is about the releases. It is about the current time. I try to live in the now, although I talk so much about the future. It's about all these great games, because 2025, I think, is going to be one of the better years, hopefully, in terms of just on paper, reading the games that probably are coming out. It's going to be a stacked year. It's hopefully a year you're going to look back at 5, 10, 15 years afterwards and say, yeah, up there with, in my opinion, 2009, 2010. I know some of like the late 90s to some people were some really good years as well. If you had Persona 6, Kingdom Hearts 4, Wonder Woman, Gears of War, a couple PlayStation games, Perfect Dark, if you had like 7 or 8 of those that I just said come out in 2026, I would say that close to matches 2025. GTA does a lot of work for 2025, and and obviously there's more games than that, but I think these next 2 years can be extremely good. And then you have like the future consoles and the future generation, and the end of console generations always tend to be pretty packed because they're trying to get their games out where you only have a couple of years left before the next generational jump. Judas is another example. I mean, every couple seconds a new game jumps into my mind, and again, these are not all coming out this year, but they're probably coming out over the next like 1 to 3 years. So hopefully it's not just me that gets excited for this stuff. Hopefully it's some of you guys as well, but either way I'll be covering it, I guess, whether people like it or not. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure as always you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.